Odds brought to you by FanDuel with our friend Todd Fuhrman, the former odds maker at Caesars, the host of the Bet the Boards podcast. He does it all, and he joins us once a week to talk about all sorts of sports, but generally we like to focus on football this time of year. And this is so interesting to me, Todd. The Eagles, best record in the NFL. One of only 3 undefeated teams at home. They're home underdogs this week. They're home dogs. Do you think that the Eagles should be favorites?
Look, Jay, I know Bill Parcells made his quote famous, "You are what your record says you are," but that couldn't be further from the truth when you're looking at betting numbers and how you go about handicapping some of these games. So you pull back the curtain a little bit and you look at Philadelphia, 10-1 on the surface. That's great. But plus 64 for a point differential, it's one of the worst that we've ever seen for a team with a record like this. The 49ers blow them away in that particular category. And if we remove the 3-game losing streak that the 49ers went on that was marred by injuries, a lot of misfortune, you can understand why this game opened with Philadelphia, a 1-point underdog, and now find themselves catching 3. And just to create a little bit of historical perspective, Jay, this will be the first time since 1970 a team at 10-1 is a home underdog when playing a game with their regular starting quarterback. So a little bit of history on the line at Lincoln Financial Field Sunday afternoon.
Let's go to the AFC. And there's a logjam on top of it. After this weekend, there could be 4 teams at 9-3. And those teams are the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, and the surprising Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do you like to lock down that conference's top seed heading into the playoffs?
So much of it is about schedule, more so than overall power profile. And I think when you look at what Jacksonville has in front of them, suddenly the game on Monday night looks a lot more favorable with Jake Browning taking over for Joe Burrow, who has lost for the season. They'll travel to Cleveland next week, and their schedule, other than a road game against the Baltimore Ravens, it's extremely favorable, Jay. And I think when you're looking at some of the prices out there, who would rule out Sunshine potentially leading this Jaguars team to the #1 seed in the AFC, proving last year they weren't just a flash in the pan. Doug Peterson has this team believing, and they're only getting healthier on the defensive side of the ball.
And it really looks like Trevor Lawrence has truly figured it out. He is a true star quarterback in the league. Monday night unders, 13-1 this year. We have Bengals Jags on TSN on Monday. The total is 38.5. That seems pretty low, Todd. Is this trend going to continue?
Look, I'm not running to bet an over in a game involving the Cincinnati Bengals right now. You look at their performance over the weekend against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If it wasn't for a couple of tip balls, the offensive yardage they accumulated isn't anything to write home about. And, Jay, this total actually opened closer to that 41 range. It was in that 40-40.5 threshold. You saw some under money come in. And who would fault anybody that tried to advocate for this game ending somewhere in the ballpark of 24-7, 24-10? I think the Jags can build a lead early if they're focused and run the football late. My lean is under the total at 38.5.
Okay, and then one of the fun things we've been doing with Todd, we earlier in the football season, we were asking him for a Super Bowl pick. He wouldn't give it to us, so we decided to ask him to add teams to a list that would not be making it to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. And he's already done that for us, as you can see. He's got a number of picks on the board already. Todd, I understand you are going to be adding to that list. Who are we going to add this week?
I am, and I'm going to take some real low-hanging fruit tonight. I know I've gone out on a limb for a couple of the teams that you see listed there. People going, wait, the Steelers at 28. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Steelers may finish with 11 wins. I'm going to pay to see them win the AFC. I'm adding 23, the Washington Commanders. They're dead and buried. Forget about them. They won't win 6 games this season. And the Arizona Cardinals. I know people were waiting on the edge of their seat, Jay, going, man, Todd really believes that Arizona can put it all together and be a dark horse. Absolutely not. I just wanted to save that proverbial free space for one of the weeks when I got too lazy to do my real homework.
That's fair. That's totally fair, Todd. So we've got, I guess we got 10 teams on the board, and we got 22 left to potentially, well, I guess 21 left to potentially eliminate, because eventually we're going to find out who Todd thinks will win the Super Bowl. But until then, my friend, hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us once again on the show.
Always a pleasure, my friend.